The decision that Trump is going to have to make is, should we use American assets, bombs, to once and for all eliminate Iran from being able to get nuclear weapons? Secondarily, should we okay or nod in some way assent towards Israel's desire to take out the Ayatollah Khomeini and once and for all remove the Ayatollahs from leadership of Iran, which they have had since the 1979 revolution? Here is Benjamin Netanyahu, cut 12, talking about assassinating the Ayatollah.
U.S. officials tell us that the president flatly rejected a plan, an opportunity that the Israelis had to take out the supreme leader. Do you understand his concern? My understanding is his concern is that this would escalate the conflict beyond where it is already.
It's not going to escalate the conflict. It's going to end the conflict. We've had half a century of conflict spread by this regime that terrorizes everyone in the Middle East, has bombed the Aramco oil fields in Saudi Arabia, is spreading terrorism and subversion and sabotage everywhere. That's the forever war is what Iran wants. And they're bringing us to the brink of nuclear war. In fact, what Israel is doing is preventing this, bringing an end to this aggression.
Okay. So the double question that Trump has to answer as we sit here today is, should we give assistance in the way basically of these bunker busting bombs that would wipe out nuclear capabilities of Iran that are deeply buried underground, and reportedly Israel does not have the ability to do it based on the weaponry that they control? Second, should we in any way nod, assent, or maybe even potentially be involved in the removal of the Ayatollahs? This is split very reasonable, very rational people on both the left and the right. J.D. Vance just put out a long piece saying that I'll read to you at some point, but essentially saying President Trump should be trusted to make this decision, and that Trump has been consistent that Iran can never get a nuclear weapon, and anything that he does related to that will be in his decade-long career as a politician, further echoing the comments that he has made throughout that Iran can't get a nuclear weapon. Here's my answer. I think we should, once and for all, wipe out Iran's ability to have nuclear weapons. I think that if that requires us using our bunker bombs to wipe out that capability, I think we should do it. Second, I think the Ayatollahs have to go. Now, those may be controversial opinions. Some of you may disagree. 800-282-2882. We will take your calls to agree or disagree. You can also talk back. We know, and let me lay out why I believe this is necessary. Every time that we have negotiated with Iran, especially with the deal that Obama struck with Iran, the Iranians have been unwilling to accede to the agreements. They always cheat. They always try to get nuclear weapons. I don't blame them, because the Ayatollahs see nuclear weapons in the same way that Kim Jong-un and North Korea did, which is once they have them, the danger of trying to take them out becomes so pronounced that they will be in power effectively forever. I understand why Iran wants nuclear weapons. It's a rational decision for the Ayatollahs to pursue them. It's why I don't believe that Iranian Ayatollah leadership is ever going to give up the pursuit of nuclear weapons. There is no doubt that they are pursuing them. There is no doubt that they have an incentive to one day have them, because it increases the overall power and stability of the Ayatollahs. So to me, this is a bit like starting to treat an infection for antibiotics and then you stop. Iran is right now on the precipice of having the Ayatollahs thrown out of control of the country, and also of never being able to have nuclear weapons for the life of anyone listening right now. I think we have the ability to ensure that. If we do not do it now, I think, using my antibiotics example, if you start to take antibiotics and you have an infection, and then you stop, you can actually strengthen the infection because you didn't do enough to knock it out. We have to, in my opinion, and I know it's a tough call, and this is why presidents age so much when they're in office, because making tough calls is the ultimate job, and there are good people arguing on both sides of this issue from a variety of different perspectives. I think reasoned, articulate, logical cases can be made for either decision. To me, if you believe that Iran wants nuclear weapons and has been pursuing them for a long time, which I do, then you have to, in my opinion, wipe them out once and for all. Now, some of you out there are saying, well, this sounds too similar to Iraq, and we will talk about it during the course of this program. I opposed the Iraq War back in the day, 20-some-odd years ago, because to me, it never made sense to connect Saddam Hussein to 9/11. And we were the aggressor going into Iraq, and the attempt to build a new Iraqi government and the trillions of dollars that we spent and the loss of men and the loss of basically everything without much benefit, to me, felt very similar to Afghanistan. So what would later happen in Afghanistan? I do not believe that the United States should take the next step of having boots on the ground and trying to pick who the leaders of Iran are going to be going forward. There seems to be some optimism that the Iranian people might well support their royal family, which was deposed and kicked out of the country in the 1970s. And again, if you go back and watch those YouTube videos, they're up. You can go check them out. Iran, for a Middle Eastern country, used to be quite free. Instead of walking around in hijabs and burqas, women were walking around in high heels and skirts. This was a jewel of Middle Eastern economy. They have fallen behind. Saudi Arabia has passed them. Qatar has passed them. All of these other countries that used to look up to Iran have now ended up surpassing Iran. Persians, proud people that live there. I think economically, this is what I love about what Trump is doing. He's not focusing on religion. He's focusing on economic opportunity. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with the religious focus, but Christians, Jews, and Muslims have struggled to get along, as you well know, in the Middle East for a very long time. Trying to reconcile those religions can be challenging. Instead, to me, what Trump seems to have been successful in doing is saying, hey, let's focus on commerce. Let's focus on capitalism. Let's focus on growing everybody's economy together. And that seems to have been received very favorably. Trump has done a phenomenal job, in my opinion, and his team on Middle Eastern relationships, building them. The Middle Eastern countries, by and large, Saudi Arabia, the largest and most powerful of them, they want the Ayatollahs gone. They actually support Israel and the United States if we make this decision. It's going to be a hard one. It's going to be a difficult one. We'll talk about this. I'll certainly talk about it with Ted Cruz and Senator Rand Paul, who are both going to be on this program, and we'll take some of your calls and some of your talkbacks on this decision. But to me, this is a hard decision, but presidents are elected to make hard decisions. Trump, in my opinion, should wipe out the nuclear capabilities once and for all, and I think should quietly assent to the idea from Israel of taking out the Ayatollahs who are persecuting authoritarians who do not have, I don't believe, substantial support inside of Iran. I think that what replaced them, while potentially uncertain, would be better and safer for all of us than what is there now. America first does not mean America alone. We have to make rational decisions in the larger world about how to ensure that we are safe. And I do not believe that if we allowed Iran to ever have a nuclear weapon, that would make the world safer. We've already got one crazy man, Kim Jong-un, with nuclear weapons. I don't think it's a good decision to allow Iran, run by, frankly, religious, zealot, crazy people, to have a nuclear weapon. We have seen what happens when religious, zealot, crazy people from the Middle East decide to trade their focus on us. It's 9/11. I believe that the Ayatollah is not just chanting death to America and leading those chants in Iran because he wants a few good viral moments. I think he hates America and would do us ill, and therefore we have to prepare for it. Even the most tech-savvy companies have a hard time keeping their customer databases safe from cyber attack. That's what is the point of LifeLock. They monitor millions of data points a second for risk to your identity, and if you become a victim of identity theft, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or you'll get your money back. You can get your online identity protected before it's too late. Join now. Use my name Clay for 40% off your first year. That is lifelock.com. My name Clay for 40% off your first year. 1-800-LifeLock. You can go online to lifelock.com. Use my promo code Clay for 40% off. That's lifelock.com. Promo code Clay for 40% off.